Welcome back. You're live on Expresso. Follow that beautiful sound, that little baby's laughter right the way to your TV, because it's time for a little baby talk. And today we're going to be discussing the difference between colic and reflux with chiropractor and old friend Dr Mike Marinus. And today we're going to be getting some advice, a little bit of a demo as well, on how we can ease our little one's discomfort. Mike, I can't tell you how good it is to see your face, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. It is wonderful to be able to see you as well. Thank you very much for having me on.
A bit of
really awesome.
a full circle moment here. Great to see how successful you've become in your practice as well. And we're going to be having an important discussion this morning. I think this affects a lot of parents, certainly someone like me who's got a young baby as well, but so many parents out there battling with what we have termed to be colic, which does cover a broad spectrum, and then of course reflux in that. And I think some people have even said that colic is just a term that we use, that it's a westernized term, that some cultures don't even believe that colic actually exists. But we know that it covers a broad range of symptoms that basically show that our baby is in discomfort. But maybe you can break it down for us and give us the difference between colic and reflux.
Yeah, absolutely. So the biggest or the easiest way to understand it is colic is something that babies do and reflux is something that babies have. So colic is when a well baby, and we're talking about a baby that is well fed, they are no infections, they are growing fantastically, they're all intents and purposes doing so well. But for some reason, when you hit that early evening, they cry inconsolably for 3 hours, and we don't know why. Come back negative. Whereas reflux, we know that it's food that's moved in through the mouth, down into the stomach, but instead of carrying on through its tract, that food now starts to move up, back past the diaphragm, back into the throat, and potentially up and out of the mouth.
I think for any parent, if they find themselves in a situation where their child was crying for 3 hours non-stop, they might be prompted to want to see the doctor. But what are some of the warning signs that they sort of need to look out for that scream, "See the doctor, see the doctor"?
Yes, absolutely. There's some stuff that's normal, there's some stuff that's not normal, and we really want to get checked out very quickly. So the first thing is if there is losing weight. We want those babies to be able to track properly. They must, in those first couple of weeks, be picking up around 200 grams a week. If they're not doing that, we definitely want to go and see the doc. If there's a fever involved, because fever has nothing to do with colic or reflux. Also, if we have projectile vomiting, so what we're talking about is all the food you put into baby's mouth comes pummeling back out again past your shoulder onto the wall. And then obviously if there's any blood-stained anything, blood-stained stools or any blood-stained vomiting.
All right, before you fill us with absolute fear, I mean, you're not a parent unless you've got some kind of, vomit or something on you.
Yeah.
We know this, but it really can push both parent and baby when you're dealing with kind of 2-3 hours of crying and you don't seem to know what to do about it. Do you have any recommendations based on your experience, what we can do for our baby who is exhibiting signs of what you've described as colic?
Absolutely. So I've got a little Isabella here. She's going to help us go through 1 or 2 little tips and tricks that I like to give you. So the first one is to get out as much air as you can, as many burps as possible. There's a really good way of doing that. And the idea is to sit baby down onto your lap, have them right up against you, have a nice little position where the head is right up against your chest. But now what I want you to do, and this is the trick, hand at the back to make sure that that back is straight, because as the pipe of the esophagus gets into the tummy, I want that angle to be straight. Straighten up, and a little bit of bouncing underneath the knee works wonders. Patting breaks bubbles down. Don't do that. I want you to make baby's back nice and straight, nice and big. The other tip that I have for you is to get the gas out of the bottom. And this is when you hear baby go, and a lot of new parents will know this, baby lies down next to them and push all the time. This is a wonderful technique. Sit baby on your lap, fingers underneath the knees out to the sides, lift into a squat, pop them onto your lap, and a little bit of a bounce. Alternatively, you can have a bit of a walk around the room, which will be good for you and your posture, and good for baby's little pelvic floor to be able to open and get rid of that gas.
And Dr. Mike, I suppose it's worth mentioning that it's difficult not to, but for parents to try and stay calm in the process, because if you're stressing and panicking, surely your baby's able to pick up on this, and you're able to quickly and easily miss some of those steps, right?
Oh, so if there's one thing that a baby can do, it's figure out that its parent is under stress. And that's a very, very important thing for a baby to be able to do, because then they need to react in a certain way if their parent is under stress. So Easier said than done, but it is utilize each other. If there's two of you in the home, it's utilize the fact that you can move away from the situation for a little bit, get a little bit of perspective, and then come back again. But you make such a valid point. You have to look after your own mental health going through this, because it is a big thing, and having a baby cry at you for that length of time will turn the most calm, most rational, most normal person to doing things that they might be upset with. So absolutely take care of your mental health so that you are there to be able to look after your child.
Yeah, it's spoken like a parent whose children are no longer babies, undoubtedly, man. And of course, all of that is painted over with the brush of being overtired generally as well. But we now shift over to reflux, and there are some things that you can do to help your baby once you've ascertained that they are experiencing something that happens to them like reflux.
Oh, absolutely. So the first thing, and this is the golden rule of reflux, is you want to use gravity. We want to have baby upright for 20 to 30 minutes after a feed. I know that's rough, but it works like a bomb. If you pop baby down too quickly, please keep in mind that the normal amount that a baby takes in is akin to about a 2-liter bottle of fluid for an adult. So that's huge. You as an adult wouldn't want to take that in and then lie flat down on your back. So it's really, really important to have them upright and allow gravity to help pull that down. Another quick little tip that I can give you is you can try, with the blessing of your doctor, to try and feed them slightly less but slightly more often. So we don't fill that stomach and you don't have the possibility of it popping up into the esophagus.
And Doc, is there a certain age that babies experience either of these, and at what age does it then not become a worry any longer? Do they sort of outgrow it and just simply not have to go through that at all anymore?
Yes, a wonderful question, because colic and reflux are different in these respects. So with colic, it starts at about 2 weeks, hits its peak at 6 weeks. That's when you run for cover. And then down to about 3 months, that's when things start to calm down. Unfortunately, reflux starts to take off and peaks at 4 months and then comes down, because nature is full of cruel jokes like that. So they definitely work at different times. Interestingly, though, if you have a baby that's inconsolably crying after about 4 or 5 months, that's a bit more of a problem, because that inconsolable crying is a problem of early childhood. So if they're carrying on doing it, then you might want to have them assessed as well.
Well, Mike, I'm going to quickly step out here. I've got another segment to dive into, but I'm going to say how proud I am of you. It's so great to see how well you are doing, my friend. You've given us some absolute gems there, things that I'm going to use with my 5-month-old, undoubtedly. So, Mike, great to see you. I'm going to let you wrap up the conversation with Tabiso.
Good luck with the little one.
Cheers, G-Man. And just in case anyone is wondering what this major reunion is about, is that the good Dr. Mike on the line and G-Man actually went to school together, which is absolutely fantastic. But now you're going to show us a demo on how to relieve a fussy baby, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you going to just run through that for us quickly and just, one last time, those steps for any parents who may have missed them when the baby is fussy, and sometimes you miss these steps, and so it's important to sort of watch it over and over again.
Okay. First one we want to do, skin to skin. So your shirt off, and this can be done by mom or dad, it doesn't matter. Shirt off, baby shirt off, chest to chest with each other, and you can wrap a towel around each other, and you can just be like that. It hormonally helps so much. From there, we want to make sure that all the burps are out. 3 little techniques. The one we talked about, flat, up to the back, make sure we're nice and straight, and a little bit of a bounce. If we're hiccuping, which those little ones are going to do a lot, and I'm sure G-Man can attest to, fingers underneath the arms, we lift a little just to make a little space between the diaphragm and the throat, and a little bit of a bounce. And then the last one I want to show you is up over the shoulder. So baby is shoulder over shoulder with you, underneath on the side of the leg, and a little bit of a wobble of that bum, just to be able to move things through and allow baby to calm. Last little one, onto the lap, fingers underneath the knees, out to the side, lift up into a squat, and a little bit of a bounce. This helps relieve all that lower gas. And afterwards, they can sit very nicely onto your arm like this, head out to the side, right up against you. It's called Tiger in the Tree. Most wonderful position for a baby to relax and with its parents after we've been doing it.
Stunning, and probably by that point they are so relaxed, all they want to do is to take a nap, and hopefully they just do dip into a bit of a nap, and maybe mom or dad also just gets a bit of a break in there as well. But Dr. Mike Marinus, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You've been so insightful on that colic and reflux information that many parents certainly do want to be hearing about. And of course, this is definitely going to be one of those videos being watched over and over again on our YouTube. But thank you so much for joining us.
Only a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
And that is the good Dr. Marinus, of course, his name, Dr. Mike Marinus, of course, sharing all that information. Do you have any questions around this? You can pose this to the good doctor, maybe engage with him some more on social media at Marinus Criso, or rather Criro. Marinus Criro, he's a chiro, Marinus Chiro. He is a chiropractor and has joined us on your Feel Good Breakfast. Your time for us now to dip into some story time.